Alright, welcome to this episode of Moving Our World. I'm in another rotary, another Dorito powered car, and I'm super excited because this one sounds like a rotary, unlike the last one I was in. I'm with Luke, and how long have you had this car for?
So probably, I had it maybe about 7 or 8 months now.
7 or 8 months, sweet.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of an interesting beast because I'll start from the start. Number one, this is a Mazda 808, 1976. My mum used to have an 808 growing up. I got a photo of it, I'll show you. Yeah, and that was mum's 808. And there's in the window with his thumbs up.
Cracker!
Yeah.
That's sweet, eh?
Yeah, so mum had an 808 back when I was a kid, and I have a distinct memory of when we lived over in Mount Maunganui of it being sold. A backpacker picked it up and they sold it for like $200 because it was full of rust.
Far out.
And I guess that's a good thing to touch on. Values of these things have just skyrocketed, especially in New Zealand and Australia and
pretty much everywhere now, eh? Like they're pretty hard to get like a nice one.
Yeah.
But back, as you say though, back in the day, you used to be able to pick them up for about $1,500. You'd paddock bash it, roll it, and then just leave it in the farm and then carry on.
And that's something I talked about with Tony as well about his Cosmo. He was saying that one thing that kind of blew his mind was yes, I like that very much. One thing that blew his mind was I wouldn't say it blew his mind. When Tony and I were talking about how this generation hasn't had the opportunity to use rotaries like we did.
Yeah.
You can't just go buy a cheap one anymore. Maybe an RX8, but even then, what is that? That doesn't count?
Nah. No, well, that's the thing, eh? Like, and then I say, like back in the day, everyone used to have them, and then only, well, I guess you'd have the rougher Mazdas and stuff like that. You know, the dudes with the dreads and like fully tinted out and like slammed and like taking cat's eyes off the road. And, and then everyone kind of gravitated out of it, and now they're kind of doing a full circle. Everything's coming back in.
I guess that's same with every generation. They kind of buy what they couldn't have.
Yeah.
When they were young. This isn't stock, of course. Mazda 808s came out piston power, so this would have been like a 1.3 pop probably.
Yeah. Probably 4-speed.
Yeah, 4-speed, 4-cylinder, and this is what we call an RX3 conversion. So the RX3 conversion, I didn't really know much about that until I actually looked at the front of this and then I looked at the picture of an 808.
Yeah.
They're very different.
Yeah.
Twin headlight versus quad headlight.
Yeah.
The grille's different.
Yeah.
Tail lights are different.
Nose cone is different.
The whole nose cone itself.
So the RX3's got the point. 808's just flat.
Yeah.
And then you've got the different nose cones. So this is actually a 10A nose cone.
Is it?
So it's a tin 10A nose cone. So they're the rarer ones, you can't actually find them.
Yeah.
And then everything that gets done up now has got a 12A nose cone.
Okay.
So the difference is on the lights, front lights, they've got like the 12A's got like another chrome bit that comes around onto the guards.
Yeah.
And then the honeycomb and the mesh is bigger and longer.
Yeah.
Whereas the 10A's are small and they don't have the wraparound chrome trim.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You do know more about this car than you think.
No, I talked to the guy, so the guy I bought it off had it for 14 years.
Yes, okay.
So he had it in Australia, so it's Australian new, Australian assembled.
Yeah.
Hence the Australian sticker on the back.
Yeah.
And then he had it for 14 years as an 808. Until recently, so I think 3 years ago he did the conversion.
So that was done in New Zealand, or?
Yeah.
So there's no clear signs of it just being slapped together. But the other thing is, you've done quite a bit. Wow, you've changed the look of the inside entirely. Did it have brown leather when you?
Yep. Yeah. So it had brown leather, but obviously, so I've done it with the brown leather, the original piping, but got the guy that was doing it to mould it into RX3 seats. Okay. So they're more of like a race seat, so it's got like the cushioning on the sides. The back seat's been fully re-cushioned. And then suede in the middle. So the suede is to A, help the summer.
Yes. Because otherwise it hurts.
Yeah. And B, help with around the track. It kind of grips you on the seat a bit more.
So do you take this thing? Have you taken this thing on the track?
Yep. Yeah, I've gone to a few of those chrome days, you'd call it, where everyone just goes.
Yeah, expression session kind of thing.
That's it, yeah. So went to one of those, and then I'm also booked in for, the rotary only one.
So rotary reunion.
Yeah, that's it, RE.
Yeah, and that's a huge deal in New Zealand.
Yeah, so
people travel from around the country to go to there, and that's Taupo?
Yep. crazy, like 1,500 rotaries.
Yeah.
All over New Zealand.
That's wild. And it's been postponed, so it's going to be a big blowout, I think.
Yeah.
How many Ks do you reckon you'll do in a year? Like, it's a couple thousand maybe?
Yeah. The insurance, you're only allowed to, I think the insurance on it, because it's a classic car, I think you're only allowed to do 5,000 a year.
Okay.
Yeah. So theoretically it's meant to be in the garage, so I think they allow for you to take it out once a week and that 5,000 Ks as a drive and then put it away.
Yeah, which makes sense. And the engine itself, so do you know much about it itself? It's a 13B.
It's a 13B, it's an old school block, so it's like an RX4 block. It's got a Bridgeport, a CNC machine Bridgeport,
Yeah.
which is something that the Green specialise in.
So it's Green Brothers.
They ported it.
Yeah.
The guy that I bought it off built the engine himself.
Oh, cool.
So he pretty much did everything on it. I mean, it's a mint car. There's a few things, as I say, that's coming up that I'll have to change, but
Yeah.
apart from that, you can't really complain too much. But yeah, the engine goes pretty mean for what it is.
Definitely goes quite well.
Yeah.
And I guess the sound has a lot to do with it as well.
Yep.
It's you haven't changed the pipe or
Nah,
or anything?
so it's already got like an adrenaline dumpy on it,
Yeah.
which is it's probably one of the better dumpies for it. So yeah, it gives it a nice crisp sound, and the engine, as I say, it's only done 9,000 Ks, so it's really fresh as well.
Yeah. Wheels, you've changed the wheels on this. I saw a photo that had Modgies.
Yep.
So it did have Modgies at one point when you got it, and it had the Aussie plate, or like it looked like it was a black and
It's
silver.
still got the black plate,
Yeah.
but yeah, it came on the 14-inch Modgies. It was just too low, I wouldn't say hood ready, but you know, like it didn't have the look that I was trying to go for.
You would have had to grow dreads to be able to own it with Modgies.
Yeah, kind of. Like, I mean, it's nostalgia. Like,
Yeah.
You know, every time you see a rotary, you see it on Modgies.
Yeah.
But as I say, I went down the different route. Ended up getting Simmons for it.
Yeah.
The black 5-spoke with the chrome lip instead of the normal silver, which everyone gets.
Yes. Yeah.
So the only way you can do, you know. So then it kind of you're changing the look again, and then the only reason you can only tell they're Simmons is obviously by the centre cap. So.
They look really good. They set the car up really, really nicely. You did the interior console here as well.
Yeah, centre console, so I put the RX3, you need somewhere to put your phone in your wallet, eh?
Yeah, man.
And then a few little bits and pieces, like I changed where the tacho used to be up here.
Okay.
So got rid of that, clean the dash up, and make it, you know, like keep the originalness to it.
Yeah.
Rather than butcher it more.
And like factory things like all this kind of shit, does it work?
Yep. Yeah, all the heaters, the radio actually works as well.
Yeah.
If you know any good AM stations.
No, I don't. Static.
Yeah.
That's about it.
It obviously doesn't get the heater hot, so it just blows cold air. But it's not. When you're in summer, you've got to have some type of air moving around.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Well, this kind of air conditioning, you just wind the windows down.
Yeah, that's what I tell everyone as well.
Yeah. So what would your favourite part be about owning this thing? You've had it 8 months now. Has it lived up to your expectations? Is it something you always wanted? Like, were you always super keen on it?
Yeah, growing up, I guess, you know, rotaries used to be, you know, the in thing back then. So everyone was trying to get one. My probably dream rotor would be an RX2 4-door Capella.
Okay.
Yeah, I nearly had one before this.
Yeah.
The guy decided he didn't want to sell it, so I was like,
fair enough. Yeah, you can't hate the guy for that.
nah, fair enough.
At least he didn't sell it to someone else.
Yeah, no, it's still sitting in the shed, not doing much.
And how did you come across this? Was this for sale? Did you have to chase the guy? Were you after an 808 or an RX3, or was it I need an old rotor? What's available?
I was looking at RX3s, RX2s, the old 323, but then I was like, oh, I don't really want that. It popped up on Trade Me one night, and I was like, shit. Just sent it to my mate who knows quite a bit about rotaries themselves, and he was like, shit, that looks mint. So I went around the following day, pretty much after work, got in, you know, before everyone else could, before the Sharks.
Yes.
And then got in, took it for a cruise, had a look at it, and I was like, it's actually really mint. And then just offered him cash straight there, and he was a bit bamboozled.
He didn't expect it to sell so quickly?
Nah, he didn't.
Yeah.
He was in a bit of shock actually. He had to sit down. He was like, "Whoa!" But then again, he'd had it 14 years.
Yeah.
So he had done everything to it. So he was quite attached to it. He only sold it because his family didn't like going in it.
I mean, this is really nice. Seats are real comfy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit loud and, you know, juddery, but that's just down to driving style, I think, and being a rotary.
Yeah. Well, they're not that easy. They're easy to drive, but you're usually, like you see, usually out of gear, or you've got your clutch in.
Is that otherwise you're just kind of lurching back and forward, or?
Well, because it's just going around like that, isn't it?
Yes.
And you're trying to go forward, and then it starts shuttering.
Yes.
And the shuttering's not good for anything really, so you
Yeah,
kind of take the shutter away, and then you're not. Apparently, you're not meant to leave them in gear to slow down and see the shutter there.
Yes.
Just little things like that.
Yeah. So it's not impossible to drive. You just have to think about it the whole time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But then, as I said, once you get used to it, it's pretty easy. You kind of jump into another manual car and you start doing the same.
Same thing. Yes. Yeah.
And the good thing is that it revs it up to at least 9. So
Yeah. Happily too.
At least, yeah.
No,
some of them you can get to 12, but that's all on your port setup and your carb setup.
I mean, it's always nice to have a bit more power, but this is like enough. If it's going to be somewhat reliable in this setup, there's no need to...
Yeah.
Do you have that sneaky, like, oh, there's room for it? There's a lot of room in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. Everyone's turbo, like, you don't find too many cars that are just bridge ported or PP'd now.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be going down that turbo route.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be like a little bit different.
Do you know if this has been down the drag strip? Would you want to do that?
Nah, it hasn't been down. I don't think it's been down the drag strip. Yeah, I probably would, but I'd rather. I want to get my clutch set up a bit nicer.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's good for a street.
Yeah.
Putting it around the track was a bit hard on the thrust bearing.
Okay.
So, and you can kind of hear it now too.
Yeah.
So there's something not too right in there, but I mean, I'd still put it around the track. It goes quite nice.
So what do you do with yourself business-wise these days? So you've got your business, what's the name?
LM Alterations.
Cool.
So it's just me and another guy, kind of just contract to each other.
Yeah.
So between us, we have quite a bit of work coming up, so it's good. Just do renovations and alterations. We don't get into like that new house stuff.
No new builds, stuff like that. It's a punishing world.
Yeah. But it's more of a craft, renovations. Like you kind of got to know to go in and rebuild it. You can't just slap frames up and carry on.
Call it done. Yeah. We can't also drive down here without mentioning where we are.
Yeah.
This is where you would have spent many a night as a teenager.
Yeah.
Basically, where we're driving now at the moment, there's a 30 km/h speed limit, real slow. There's speed bumps every 5 seconds, and that's because of people like Luke.
It is. Well, it was. When we were younger, you get the drag train, and everyone would come down here and meet up, and then someone up on this up here where everyone parks, someone would do a diesel spill. You got young guys,
and if you just happen to drive into it, then
you got to give it a bit of a stick, and see what happens.
Yeah, 100%. So it's kind of sacrilege to go out in a car like this and not come somewhere like this, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. It's the place where if you were sitting down at one of these cafes or restaurants, it would not be uncommon, even now, but especially 10, 15 years ago, even longer, early 2000s, just to see the same car go past about 15 times.
Yeah.
People joke that you get a car like this, to attract the ladies, but anyone that owns these cars... Anyone that owns these knows that all you do is attract dudes.
Yeah. You park up and all these dudes just gravitate towards you. You're like, it's not really the market I was after, but anyway.
Yeah. And the conversation's lovely and people are enthusiastic, but it can become punishing too.
Same questions over and over again.
Yeah.
But no, and then it's quite cool too though. You do get quite a young kid come up to you and he's like, oh man, is that an RX3?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, bro. And he's like, oh, that's so cool, man.
Yeah.
And you like run off and you're like, dad. Just be like, oh, like, how's a kid like that know about something like this? But it's
the youth aren't going to waste.
Nah.
There's a few of them out there doing the right thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And we're going past some cafes at the moment and all eyes are on us. It's quite cool.
It's only got a 30-litre tank.
Okay.
So, I mean, every time I go out, it's a half a tank mission.
Yeah.
Even just to do this.
Yeah.
So you're constantly putting gas in, and then being two-stroke, you've got to put oil in as well.
Yeah.
Oil in with the gas. So everything's measured out. The funny thing is that with all these petrol prices going up, I kind of never really looked at the price. I was always looking at the litres.
Yes.
You look at how many litres you're putting into, how much oil you need to put in, and
Yeah, 100%.
stuff like that.
Yeah. The Cosmo I was in recently still had its factory oiling system.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to worry about that, but working in a motorcycle shop, I used to sell really good quality two-stroke oil
Yeah,
to dudes all the time.
That's what I use modal.
What's the fill-up regime? So checking litres, have you got Motul on you at all times?
Yeah. So every time I leave, I kind of, you got to open the boot. So I open the boot, there's a little crate in the boot. It's got all your oils, your additives, filler cups, extra oil for the engine, radiator coolant if you're getting too hot.
Yeah.
Heaps of stuff like that. Speaking of hot, I
Didn't turn the fan
on.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's just little shit like that, you kind of forget about.
Yes.
But and then so you've got to put oil in, and then you put your gas in. And
When I did a little bit of research about this, the 808, so they came out, I think it was 71 or 72 through to 78 possibly. They were called different things in different countries. Grand Familiar in Japan.
Yeah.
808 over here. Before this was the R100, and that was kind of made in direct competition to the Corolla starting to be popular.
Yes.
So they're trying to make them a similar size. So if you know like a KE30 or something like that,
Yeah.
very similar size wise, and it's not uncommon. Well, it wasn't uncommon when I was younger to see these with to see KE30s with a lot of rotaries in them.
Yeah, that was one of the big things back in those days. Get a Toyota like an old KE30 or a KE35 or something like that.
Yeah.
Chuck a rotary in it straight away, or it's crazy. And like to think of all the pricing of the cars and everything that have gone up.
I'd argue that this has probably gone up since you've had it.
Yeah. It would have. I would say it's gone up a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's only worth what someone's willing to either A, part with it, and B, buy it for. So theoretically, this is an investment.
Yes.
It's just an investment that I've spent a bit too much more money on.
What's something like this? Not necessarily this vehicle, but these kind of things. A fairly tidy, somewhat original rotary of this era.
I've seen a few of them on TradeMe. Probably the last one I saw was 150. I think there's one on there now at the moment for 150.
Oh, that hurts my feelings.
Yeah. So they're not the cheapest of things anymore.
No.
But
this is me, old son.
But that's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
But as I say, man, someone's got to have 150 to spare to be able to buy it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, man. We'll kill it here.
Yeah.
And all the other shots that you've watched while you've been watching this have been filmed after this.
Yeah.
The magic of the internet.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, man. It's been wicked.
No worries.
Awesome. Let's do it.